Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Asphasia and I apologize for change of scenery again. I'm back on campus. I looked semi-decent for today, you know, got a little scarf on, I'm matching, got my hair done. So I thought, why not do a video? And I want to do a video that I didn't need a lot of preparation for because your girl is lazy and has no time. It is my first day of classes. I actually just finished my last class of today and I'm already starting to sweat. I have 3 classes today that are back-to-back, which in they end and finish 10 minutes of each other, which means I have enough time to get to the class, but the issue is if I for some reason take too long on an assignment or the teacher goes over the time of the class, I could be late to my next class. So I'm a little nervous about that. It's just a little bit. I'm thinking of dropping one of those classes because as of right now, I do not have any kind of interest in it. I took it because it sounded interesting and I could get an extra credit. Now that I've been there, I was just like, nope, not for me. You do presentations every Friday, you research a certain thing, you do performances, you get costumes and all that. And I'm like, I thought this was just a history, cultural understanding class. I did not realize we were doing all this other stuff. Hold on a second. So, yeah, I think I'm dropping that. Okay, so today's video, I wanted to talk about how I pull myself out of reading slumps. If you don't know what a reading slump is basically when you don't want to read or necessarily you can't get yourself to read. Well, that's because it does not interest you or because it's, you just don't want to read in that moment. Maybe, I don't know. Everyone has different reasons why they have reading slumps or different ways they get into them. Mine is typically because the books I'm interested in have disappointed me and I couldn't stay interested, or because I'm just extremely busy and I could not pick up a single book. And I don't think I've been in a reading slump in a little while. I have been reading pretty rapidly for the past couple months. Yeah, so I've been reading pretty rapidly the past couple months. I think I had a reading slump for a little while, but then I picked up and read a whole ton of books after that. I do remember my biggest reading slump was actually a couple years ago when I could not get myself to read anything, like anything at all. And I think I didn't read for I think about a year or so, maybe, or if I did, it was only for school. And other than that, I was reading every single thing I possibly could. And now I'm reading all the time. And now I have a channel and a bookstagram and a Twitter. Like, who is she? So yeah, I wanted to talk about how I get out of reading slumps. I feel like that would help other people, because I know a lot of people don't know how to pull themselves out of reading slumps other than to just wait it out. So hopefully maybe one of these helps you. Again, some of mine do depend on your personal preference of readings. I do tend to read to get myself out of reading slumps. I'll explain why when we get there. Okay. So the first thing I do to get myself out of reading slump is to wait it out. Sometimes I really just can't do anything else. For example, if I am busy with working and sleeping and everything else and I can't read, I'll just wait. Like, all right, once all this dies down, then maybe I can read. Just wait it out. Give it a little bit. Maybe, okay, maybe I'm just not in the mood for this. I want to do something else. Like sometimes I just want to play Sims for hours instead of reading. I'll just wait until I like pick up a book and I'm like, bam. Another reason that you might be having reading slump is because all the books that you recently read aren't interesting you or aren't that great. So I noticed that sometimes booktubers who don't like any of the books that they're reading, they will DNF them. Okay. For one example, Carly from Carly Reads, she recently was in multiple reading slumps actually, because she did not like the book she was reading. She was very disappointed and she didn't want to read anymore, which has happened to me I think once or twice. But if that happens to you, I suggest trying to find a different book, a book that you are almost 1,000% certain that you will enjoy, a book that you think will help you get back interested into reading, maybe a book that will introduce you to a new genre or author, something that you think you'll be interested in. That can be a bit harder though, because if you don't know what your tastes are or like how you would feel about that certain genre or author, that could put you farther into a slump because you feel like, why isn't anything for me? Another thing that I do is I pick up romance novels or contemporaries. I don't know why this worked for me, but for some reason, whenever I read like a romance from like Sharon Sala, Nicholas Sparks, or any other romance author, or contemporary books, they help me out to read. So I think it's because they're quick and easy reads. They're simple. They don't really require a lot of like thinking. You know, compared to fantasy, you have to think of the you gotta think of the magic. You gotta think of the world. Think of the character dynamics and the plot lines and the politics that fantasy tend to have. I feel like it is easier for me to read a romance contemporary novel, so I tend to pick those up during reading slumps. Also, I think they are a bit more enjoyable for me. Is that Naila? I think so. They tend to be a bit more enjoyable for me. I don't know. Like, they're very quick to get through. And then especially because, I don't know, they're just really quick to get through and they're really fun and cute. Well, most of the time. Sometimes I don't like them, and then it makes me like, okay, I want to read something else. I think I'm kind of doing that right now because I've been reading a lot of romantic contemporaries the past couple months and dabbling in fantasies. I feel like I've kind of burnt myself out with fantasy supernatural and I want to read more cutesy romance, realistic type things. Another thing that I do is I pick up a graphic novel or a comic, and the reason, or like a middle grade, really short things. The reason why I do that is because if I'm in a reading slump, I know I'm not going to read a lot or want to read a lot. And so I would like something shorter, easier, smaller to get through. And so I tend to pick up kids' books. In kids' books, I feel like they take a lot. How do I phrase this? I feel like it's a lot harder for a younger book to disappoint me because I feel like it's geared towards children. Everything towards a child is funny, silly, goofy, makes them smile. And some of those things are so ridiculous to me, I start laughing, or I generally think it's funny or cute or whatever. So this is fun to read and get through, because again, they're short. I finish those very quickly. And then as I keep getting through more and more, then I'm like, okay, maybe I can pick up a bigger book. Like, I slowly get to bigger books. Sometimes I branch out to another genre. That is very rare because I like to stick with what I like, and I tend to not like new things. I don't know why I'm like this. Even though I tell myself, we're gonna branch out and try something new, I never do it. For example, look decent every day. As you see, I've never done it. I'm terrible. I don't know. I really don't do a lot of change. I feel like I'm very constant with like certain things. What is another thing that I do? I segregated out graphic novels, romance, like kids short things. I think that's all of them, the things I do. Sometimes I just force myself, to be honest. Sometimes I just force it. I'm like, listen, you are 99 pages through this, you have another 187. We're gonna do it. You made it this far, you're gonna get your behind through it, and we're going to make it. And sometimes, I don't know. I just don't really enjoy the book, or maybe the book was not for me, or nothing's really happening. I'm just like, sometimes there's like the first 200 pages where it's all like talk, get you into the story, nothing's happening. I feel those a lot of times. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to read anymore, going into a slump, I'm dying. But really, it's just give it a few more pages, because you never know, maybe there'll be like this really random twist that will grab your attention. Maybe some character will come in, I don't know, anything can happen. But sometimes I do just force myself to get through it because I'm a crazy person. Instead of DNFing, I'll force myself to get through it, or I have to read it for a class, or I'm doing something with it. I do like DNFing because it gives me time to get rid of the one I'm not enjoying and put it towards things I am enjoying. But also, I do like giving those books a chance, because you never know if you were 5 pages away from getting to the plot twist that would drag you in, which has happened before. I read a book and I was like, I'm over it, and then boom, something happened, and I was like, oh, I take back everything I said. It does. I feel like once you figure out your reading taste, what you like, what genres you like, authors you like, types of books you like, reading slumps will come less and less. Once you figure out when you want to read, how you want to read it, things like that, I think you won't have as much trouble getting into reading slumps. It's good, because reading slumps can be a mess sometimes. I haven't had any in a while. I think I've learned what I like reading, when I like reading, how I like reading it, And I feel like because I've been listening to those 3 things, I have been picking up more books that I'm enjoying in the way I want to enjoy it, you know, ebook, audiobook, whatever, and I'll read it the way I want to read it, so that my reading experience tends to be better. And I'm excited for the next one because I know the next one should be good because I'm picking books I know I'm gonna like. So it is a lot of trial and error, I feel like. So once you get that figured out, you definitely figure out how to do reading slumps. But reading slumps are still possible even if you do cater your reading to yourself. So try any of these things. I have heard some people say try reading audiobooks or again, graphic novels. I have heard audiobooks supposed to help because you're not physically reading, you're just listening to it. I'm not really sure how that works because I tend to lose focus the entire time that I'm listening to an audiobook. What was the other one? I think another person, they pick up fantasy. I guess putting them, I don't know what about fantasy that helps them, but I guess putting them to fantasy is really helpful. For me, that would make it worse because I'm trying to sit there and put everything about the world together. That would just make it worse. Alright, so I think that's everything. This was pretty quick. It's like 12 minutes right now. Hopefully that these tips will help. If I find any other videos or like suggestions, tweets, etc., I can link those down below. Maybe those will help you. Maybe they will help me. Who knows? And I'll see you guys in the next video.